I've been enjoying learning about video shooting for a little while now, so I thought it was about time that I stepped up to something a bit more big boy pants. And to that end, Meike have sent me this beauty, I think, the 35mm T2.2 Cine lens for Fuji X mount. So let's take a look at it together and then have a chat about it in the comments below. Looks like we've got that good old decent packaging from Meike that we remember from back when we used to look at their stills oriented lenses. Let's see if it's business as usual inside. Let's take out that, feels like a solid lens. Nice little baggie will come in handy. The famous lens cloth, which is in a plastic bag of its own. Guarantee and lens tips, very good. And most importantly, the lens itself, that's 660 grams, feels all metal. Of course, we're getting a 52.5mm full frame equivalent, a T2 to 22, minimum focus distance of 51 centimeters, and if you take a look on the side, that is a very long throw there. So let's see, we've got the hard stop there, beyond infinity apparently. See, now we've got meter and feet there, depending which you prefer to use. These feel decent, so you should be able to get your focus gear systems on nice and easy with that. Very nice, feels nice and smooth. Now for the T-stops, hard stop at 2.2, then smooth to 22. Not a long throw there. You'll see from 2.2 to 2.8 to 4, there's a bit of distance, 5.6, a little less, then 8, and then once you get to 11, 16 and 22 is very minimal. Between 16 and 22, there's almost nothing, almost. But I'll be playing more around this end. Of course, as with still lenses, things tend to tighten up once you stop down a little bit, but these cinema lenses are designed to be pretty much problem free from the get-go, which is what you pay for. Now this is at the budget end of cine lenses, so if you're like me looking for something to get you into this little world, to have a little bit of fun and play, and perhaps then put into some proper projects. I've got a few video projects coming up as we, well, more or less move out of lockdown. Well, at least we can shoot projects. I've got a couple of video things lining up that hopefully I'll be able to crack on with very soon, and I may well use this lens if these tests work out for me. So let's crack on and do that. They're going to be very random tests on the Fujifilm X-T4. It should be obvious when they're handheld and not. When they're handheld, the IBIS will be on in the Fujifilm body because I'd have no chance otherwise. And of course, when it's on a tripod, as you should have already seen by now in the intro, well, the IBIS is irrelevant. Anyway, let's see how we get on. Especially, we're looking at things like the focus, breathing, the colors, the rendering, sharpness. If there's any problems with chromatic aberration, which we're not expecting, and how the contrast is. I might shoot some stuff in Eterna, but possibly just stick to my Pro Neg High, which is what I like, which is, I suppose, what you would say I understand the most, as I've shot in it the most when it comes to video. But anyway, yeah, you'll know, and we'll be able to have a little chat about it in the comments afterwards, because I want to hear from you about your thoughts regarding cine lenses on the Fujifilm system, including at the lower end of the market, budget-wise. After a bunch of random tests, I can say that this lens is very well built, solid, and definitely ready to use in the field. Now, for the record, there's no movement when the lens is fitted, and it balances well on the X-T4. The focus ring, as we saw, has a 270-degree throw. Now, for a beginner, that takes a little bit of practice, but it is very accurate, and it gives the right balance between being smooth and tactile. Now, personally, I want to investigate follow focus options as the next step to make focusing easier and more fluid for me. But as for this lens, it's good to go. As for the aperture ring, it's smooth and easy to work with. Also, I've got to say, if you're new to this kind of thing, I recommend an ND filter, but we'll get into the wires and all that in another video. Now, in these random tests, I didn't use anything like that, so what you see is what you get, rough and ready to see what this thing can do. To all intents and purposes, it seems that this lens is very similar, if not optically, basically the same as the highly regarded Vedra lenses that, of course, are no longer being produced as far as I understand. Apparently, the co-founder of Vedra even confirmed that they are basically the same optically. Anyway, importantly, there's barely no focus breathing. Everything seems right, tight, from infinity to, in this case, 51 centimeters minimum focus distance. I'm getting very good contrast, effectively no color cast, excellent color accuracy, and there's no noticeable chromatic aberration, something I believe the Vedra lenses had issues with. Also, the bokeh is pleasing, although I will be exploring this a bit more on some golden hour shoots soon, which I hope to share with you. Basically, what I'm seeing, importantly, is an optically excellent lens, and surprisingly so at this budget. Across the frame and wide open, all seems very nice. Even on simple shots such as you're seeing, you get a faithful result. For a new cine lens shooter, and those of you with a lot more experience, at under £400 or dollars, this is a very good option. So I'm looking forward to trying out the rest of the Meike cine gear to see if this is the gear I will want to work with in the future. As you saw, I tested the lens on my Fujifilm X-T4 and the IBIS held up very well. Of course, when you're using the focus ring for anything particularly long, a tripod might well be a better option, especially if you're not so steady or familiar with such a long throw. Otherwise, the IBIS colors and video quality of the camera itself, I'm pointing because that's the camera that's shooting this, along with this lens, it's a great combination. Now, I do have a video shoot coming up that I should be able to get done under the current lockdown rules at the time of recording. And I think I'm happy to bring this lens along. I think it will work well alongside my non-cine lenses until I can complete, let's say, a trio. Maybe it will be a Meike trio. What do you think? Have you used this lens or anything similar for Fujifilm? Make sure to subscribe and let us know in the comments below. See you soon.